Previously, on Two Past Midnight, up ahead, you see remnants of a farmhouse. The walls look like they've been blasted down, and you see an old stone chimney still up on the northwestern side of the house.
Bruce, your book say anything about this location?
Not really. There wasn't as much information on this one.
Sure, it might not just be something that you're overlooking.
You look on the fireplace. Above the mantle on it, you can see this large mirror, but it looks like the glass has been blasted out of it, and all you have left is the frame.
He grabs a piece of the glass and holds it up and says, "Alice through the looking glass."
So where we left off was you guys were still at the house. You were going to head towards B from the location that you're at. And Kyle's character, LT, had done some scrounging, found a copy of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy because he rolled 42 and that seemed fun.
That did, yeah.
And, yeah. And if I remember correctly, we were... Hold on. It was evening at this... we were in the daytime, but you guys had been, investigating a lot, so... the next shift would be an evening shift. So, Kyle, roll me a weather roll.
Yeah. Weatherman.
A 4.
Still cloudy.
Still cloudy. Weatherman.
And, yep. So what do you guys want to do? Were you guys going to head towards B? Actually, you know what? I don't remember what shift it was. If it was daytime or... No, you guys camped the hex away from here. So
yeah, the hex to the south.
But if you guys were really taking your time at this place, I'd say it was a whole other shift. So yeah, so we'll say it's evening now. That sounds...
I would almost think we should crash here, then roll out.
Nope.
Refuse.
Well, I mean, we still have one shift of movement that we can go. Even if we just get one away from this, I think it's probably better if we move than stay, simple for the fact that this is a known location, at least to probably somebody other than us four.
Also, food and water is starting to become a very serious issue.
Yes, it is. A little bit of one. Unless Kyle's just not been tracking this at all.
I was I have so much food and water.
It's weird. I have a lot.
50 rations of food. And...
I've got 2 rations and 3 water left.
I have 5 and 4.
I got 0 and 2.
2 what?
Water.
Water, okay.
I mean, we can go without food longer than we can go without water. We just can't heal
Yes.
damage and stress and whatnot.
Right.
Oh, by the way, Murph had a thought while we were searching and talking that he wanted to share with you guys. Mainly, Merrick. You know, Merrick, I was thinking, that dude Rose, my acquaintance, I'm not going to call him my friend anymore. Maybe they weren't guarding something. Maybe they were looking for it as well.
They could have been looking for it, but it still does not explain the body, you know?
Doesn't cover their tracks. I don't know. It just, the thought occurred to me about, us traipsing around here, following these clues and that sort of thing, that maybe they're on the same scavenger hunt.
There are lots of people in the area. It could also be unrelated. You know, sometimes detective makes mistake by drawing line between things that are not connected, you know?
That's fair.
So...
But something has to explain the bizarre behavior, how secretive they were. Just don't know why.
Something does, but that is case we will have to leave for now. If they are involved in this, then they may come up again, and then this proves your point, your theory. But if they do not show up again, then, well, probably unrelated, something else.
Yeah, still wouldn't explain killing Gustav and not giving us back the body. That's a weird
No,
one.
nothing will explain that at this point. It would require more from them.
Well, we'll just go on the premise that they're hiding something. We don't know what.
Like I was telling Lieutenant there, we have to collect all the evidence before we actually start building case, you know? So is peace maybe related, maybe unrelated, you know?
Fair enough.
So, what is our plan? Dr. Linsky says.
Dr. Dolinsky, we are going to this other location, this location B. But we are going to investigate the intersection of line from A to B and from Alice to the northwest.
Okay.
How are you doing, Dr. Dolinsky?
Hey, well, my feet hurt a little bit. I feel I might be a little constipated.
More water, right? Is that the
yes,
thing?
yes. Well, it's, you know, I've been drinking lots of water, but still, things just aren't moving, you know. So yeah, well, I don't know. So is your guys' plan to continue on for the evening shift and then make camp, or to make camp here, or what?
Captain?
I'd say we move and then we'll make camp.
Okay.
We'll because that's the way we've been doing it is dark morning and then move. Doing it evening dark doesn't seem to.
So we should cross that intersection line that we want to cross on this movement.
Yeah, but yeah. That'll be part of the evening shift at that point.
Right.
So
Okay. We go, yeah?
Yeah. Let's move out.
And we can only move one hex because of terrain, so...
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But we won't be at this location.
Right.
Just in case anybody else is putting clues together or gets a hold of one of these maps.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of staking it out a little bit. But I get you. We'll move.
You can stake it out and meet us later, huh?
Nah, we're good. We don't need to get lost again or blah blah, make camp, yada yada yada.
all right, so if you guys are moving along, that would be a survival roll from whoever's navigating, a recon roll from, I'm assuming Chris still,
Yep.
and that should be it. It should be at a -1 because of the dim light you're going to be heading into for the evening.
For both?
No, just for the navigation, or not. I'm sorry, the recon, just for the recon. I mean, I personally think cloudy nights should give you a negative on survival rolls, but, you know.
I only got one success.
Okay.
8 and a 2.
8 and an 8. 2 successes.
Kyle, would you roll me a d10,
Ooh,
please?
a 10. I got a 2. I know it says a 4, but it was a 2.
Okay. Alrighty. All right, so you guys are moving along. You're headed towards that hex, and you would hit that intersection point before you get, too far into that hex. You get there, get to that at that point, and it's just in the middle of the woods. You don't really notice anything specific about it. Doesn't seem like there's anything there. Nothing notable, at least.
Do we want to look around?
No, I think there is no talk of intersection at Mirror, because if this is Mirror line, all the other clues, facing opposite side of Mirror, I think is the more important part, maybe. But there are no clues here. If I spend like a stretch just kind of investigating vaguely, can I?
I mean, you can, but it's not a crime scene or a shootout or anything.
Okay. So I wouldn't get any bonus to it, is what you're saying.
I'm not gonna make you roll a roll, is what I'm saying.
Okay, all right. So we investigate it, and there's nothing
The
there.
roll is a waste of time. So yeah, you can invest.
Gotcha.
You can spend a stretch like wasted time, but that's fine. But
Delta Green, we
mechanics-wise,
already know it. It doesn't matter.
yeah,
Move it along.
yeah.
All right, gotcha.
yeah. All right. So you guys, I'm assuming, are going to continue on. The road goes straight through this hex, so I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Do you want to try to cross the road before you make camp, or do you want to cross the road tomorrow?
Okay, so basically, we want to stay south or north of the road?
Yeah. Like, because if you're going to camp in this hex, I'm just kind of curious. Like, are you going to camp? Like, the road's coming up. So are you going to try to cross the road before,
Camp right in the middle of the road.
I would say we would cross the road now while it's dim light instead of waiting until morning shift to cross the road.
100%.
Okay. Chris, as you're coming up on the road, like, you kind of get this clearing up ahead for a little ways, and you actually see a roadblock on that hex, like on the road. There's a makeshift roadblock set up. When you notice it, I got to roll for distance on this. I think it's 2d10 always, and then just the multipliers change. Yeah, just 2d10. Chris.
10 and a 1.
All right, so you're about 110 meters from it when you see it. So
Is it west or east of us?
north, because you're headed in
I got you, but
northerly.
it's directly in our path.
Yeah, like as you're going along, like you're like, oh shit, there's a roadblock there, like ahead of you.
Okay. So he stops and shuffles his way back quietly. We got a roadblock directly in front of us. And we're going to have to go around this.
All right, let's back off and try and go around. There's too much shepherd's flock and everything else around this area. I don't want to play the game and see who's in control of this one.
Adam,
Civilian clothes.
That's what I was
There,
gonna say.
yeah, civilian clothes. It looks like civilian vehicles, AKs, and they're, from the look of it, it looked like there were about 8 of them. So
Seems flocky.
it seemed flocked up.
Yeah, we're going to avoid that.
So basically, you guys would have to waste a shift of movement to go around them, essentially. So that means you could make camp on the south side of the road, and then it'll just cost you an extra hex of movement to move out and around and go. But you don't actually have to go to a different hex, technically.
Yeah, but we're going to make camp a ways away from the roadblock, obviously.
Right, yeah, I
In the
figured
same
you weren't going
hex,
to
but-
do it at 110 meters away. Yeah. You can go a little bit further. These are 10-kilometer hexes. It's fine. Yeah. All right. But yeah, from the look of it, it's definitely more Marauder-like than Soviet or official NATO or anything like that, because it wasn't uniforms and shit.
Hence flocky.
Marauders and flock are different things.
Are they?
Loosely related, I guess.
I mean, yeah, you're
What
drawing a distinction where there doesn't need to be one.
what I'm saying is, not all marauders are shepherd's flock.
That is true.
And not all shepherd's flock are marauders.
Maybe. I don't know. Probably.
It's location and zones of control. That's a whole other topic of rules and mechanics, but based upon what you've seen in this general vicinity, assuming that they're shepherd's flock's a pretty good assumption. So,
And some marauders may not have started out as shepherd's flock, but they didn't have a choice.
that's true. All right, so you guys are going to make a camp. So that's going to be a camping roll from Chris, recon roll to hide it, and then a
Survival, recon, and then recon.
then a recon roll from whoever is keeping watch.
Oh.
Yeah, so we'll do survival first.
And we decided that you were keeping watch with him now, right?
Yeah, Merrick is nighttime watch because my My recon is better than yours.
Correct.
Survival. Ooh, 6 and a 1. That's barely.
And you can't push that. And well, you don't have to either.
It's survival.
Anyway, so
We just have to get one.
Yeah.
So it's good.
So you got one success, so that's good.
And then hiding it.
Hide it good.
Just one, 6 and a 5.
Fuck.
That is a pushable roll. You can push this one.
Okay, I'm pushing it.
And it's going to be opposed and more than likely against this roadblock.
Okay. Nope, it's a 4.
Okay. So one success in hiding it.
1 success.
Okay.
All right.
Jeremy, recon.
Yep.
And this one is not pushable.
Yep. A 4 and a 2. We're not going to see anything coming.
That's fun.
And it's you and me that are awake, right?
Yep.
All right. So Emmett and LT lay down. Doc lays down. Tries to go to sleep. And we have Merrick and Murph are up. But so you guys are the ones that are up at the moment. Are you guys going to discuss anything or?
No. With as close as we are, I think both of them are leaning into their professionalism at this point and just keeping watch and making camp.
Okay. I just didn't know because you got no successes. If that was because he was distracted.
No, it's just it's dark and it's wooded, so he's just struggling to see through the brush. He's not really a woodsy guy, you know. He's a city guy.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay. All right, so the night goes along. You guys are about halfway through the night. And like off in the distance, every once in a while, you'll hear, even though you're like back away from the road a little ways, like you'll still like hear voices like carrying across the terrain, you know. You'll hear like a loud laugh or something like that. And all of a sudden, we go into the morning shift.
Yeah, we were maintaining sound discipline.
Maybe. You only had one success.
Yeah,
You guys weren't doing a good job of it by the rolls.
great.
I meant that's why we weren't talking.
All right, so it is now the morning shift. What do you guys want to do?
I guess go around, right?
Well, don't we need to sleep?
Oh yeah. Yes.
Or you could suck it up and take the point of stress.
Ooh.
And just assume
somebody
that,
got
like,
called out.
you were kind of, sort of sleeping.
I already have 2 points of stress, and we're going to be running out of food real soon. I can't afford it. I gotta at least sleep now and then push it later.
Okay. Brian? Kyle? I'm assuming Brian's on watch, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think
Yes.
what my character is going to be, what I'm going to be doing.
Never on watch.
And then we
I mean, the road is where the roadblock is, but roads are also good for scrounging.
Mm-hmm.
We are morning and binoculars, so +2. All right.
But at a +2 -1 still for the dim light in the beginning of it.
Okay.
So +1 total.
+1
cumulative.
total. 8 and a 3, 1 success.
Okay. LT, what are you doing? Are you just going to hang out at the camp and kind of keep an eye out too? Or are you going to go trying to do something?
Do I know there's a roadblock around?
You do know this.
Yes, he announced it to everyone.
Yeah.
Was I paying attention when he announced it?
Be fucking
That
quiet.
is up to you.
I will do some weapon maintenance.
Okay. Round actually negligently discharges.
I'll roll for it.
No, I'm just kidding. I mean, you do have to roll for it. The tech roll for it, though.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I put
really
something
good.
I put a D into tech for this exact same thing. Yeah.
That's a good what that one would be. Negligent discharge. I know, right?
I'm going to start calling that negligent. Sorry, honey. Negligent discharge.
That's the
That's not new.
yeah. That's an old joke.
It's new to me. Damn it.
Well, no, because there's no such thing as it's not accidental. It's not an accidental, oops, I've accidentally shot off a round. It's negligent discharge. It's like,
No, you were
negligent.
responsible.
Yeah.
You were negligent.
Trigger discipline.
Yeah.
The phone rang and it startled me.
Finger straighten off the trigger until you intend to fire.
A 4 and a 1.
Would you like to push that
No.
roll? You can spend a challenge
Then
coin.
it would be a negligent.
You could spend a challenge coin to negate that one and roll them all.
I said no.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, he has to save his challenge coins for other nonsense that you make him roll for that's nothing.
Brian's only got 2. I don't know what he's talking about. He's only got 2 coins left. Brian should
I did that not to die by getting run over.
Just saying.
I spit those bad boys like
I've
water.
got 2 also.
Glass houses. Just glass houses.
I did that not to die.
All right. So same thing, Brian. And actually, what'd you get? You got 1 success?
One
right?
success, an 8 and a 2.
Okay. You actually hear like a vehicle, like come up on the road. It sounds like it stops there. And you can hear some voices from the roadblock. Like, it's not like they're like hiding. I mean, it's a fucking roadblock. You know what I mean? Like, they're not trying to be like, oh, let's hide this roadblock. It's like, it's a roadblock, you know? So they're not like set up as an ambush necessarily as much as like, you know, if someone's coming through, they're going to fucking stop them. So, but anyway, it sounds like you hear some more voices, whatever. And from what you hear, it sounds like maybe a shift change and like more people showed up. So that would be a pretty reasonable interpretation of that.
Okay.
But other than that, the morning shift goes along. Yes, Jeremiah.
Out of curiosity, do we know which direction the vehicle came from? Or was the not high enough to...
No, not high enough. Just heard an engine in the distance. If he'd gotten 2, I might have given him that information, but made that up on the spot too. But yeah, so that's about it. Like, you notice that they increased numbers, which was really my way of being like, during the daytime, there's more people at this checkpoint, at this, you know, roadblock than at night, which is how the encounter card's written anyway. So,
Oh,
right?
look at you.
Yeah. Morning goes along, like I said, and it is now daytime. Oh, shit. I didn't. Kyle, you owe me 2 rolls
Deal.
for weather. And it is now the 29th of June.
A 2 and a 3.
All right, it is still cloudy. Actually, 1 more. You owe me 1 more.
Sometimes you ask for too much. 4.
Still cloudy. I was trying to give you more chances to make it sunny.
I do appreciate that.
Yeah. All right, so it is daytime, and it is cloudy. What do you guys want to do?
Well, we had to back off for that one, so I think we're still kind of stuck in this hex for 1,
Yeah.
just to circumvent that. So, and then
Right.
and then evening shift will be able to be up 1 for evening. That would be the goal.
Yep. Roll me a survival roll for navigation, and then a recon roll.
7 and a 1, so 1 success
Okay.
for survival.
2 successes, a 10 and a 2.
Okay. Kyle, roll me a D6 for weather, and then a D10.
for weather. That is a 1 on the D6 for weather.
All right. So as you guys are going into the evening shift, it starts fucking raining.
And a 3 on the D10, sir.
Okay. So yeah, so the evening comes along. It's just like rain coming down. What do you guys want to do? Because it took like a whole shift to like circumvent these guys and find a way around, and then
Right.
like, a
Now
safe
this
way
movement here would be our evening shift. So now we're back
Right.
to make a camp. There is a part of me that kind of wants to push it for 1 just to get to B, but
I mean, technically, it's the 2 hexes of marching already, but you can if you want to.
that's what I mean. It would be, but I mean, we could still camp here.
But we'd be arriving at our target at nighttime.
No, we'd be arriving at the target at night.
Yep.
Or we could camp and arrive at target afternoon.
Yep.
I think we should camp.
Okay.
Agreed.
There we go.
But I also do not have food, so.
Mister, I have 5 or whatever. I can give you one. I mean, I'll give you one. I don't care.
Yes, yeah, food-wise, I'm down to 2 and 3. Yeah.
Me too. I'm going to be down to 1 and 2 now after today.
Yeah, I'm down to 2 and 3, so...
Oh, Kyle.
We're going to need to figure out
Yes?
a way to feed ourselves again.
Share your food, son.
I'm going to have to, actually.
All right, so you guys eat some food, drink some water. Raining in the evening shift, but you guys get to where you're going at this point. Guys gonna make a camp then?
Yep, here's survival. 6 and a 7, so that's 2 on survival, which is kind of annoying.
So are we going into the nighttime, or this is evening?
This right now is the night shift.
Okay.
Start of the night shift, yes.
Yep.
11 and a 4 on covering it, so that's 2.
So technically, now that you're making camp, it's just cloudy. So you got 2 successes, Chris. You said on covering it.
Yep.
And Merrick's going to be on watch.
Merrick, so it'd just be a -1 or 2? 2.
I have 2.
Negative
For
2.
nighttime.
Yep. That's a 8 and a 3, so 1 success.
Okay. All right. So now that you guys are a little bit further away from those, that roadblock, you guys don't really hear anything. It's pretty quiet here in the woods. And, and this is like, this forest seems like an old fucking European forest. You know what I mean? Like, been here for ever. But it's still some somewhat hillier terrain that you're coming out of with the trees. But it's like, you've been traveling through forest for a while now, you know, trudging your way through.
So, Mr. Murphy, what is it like where you are from?
Do you know map of the United States at all?
I know Florida looks like Limp Dick.
Yes, it does. It's fitting. I grew up in the northeast part of the country, kind of up close to Canada.
Oh, so you're Canadian?
No, I'm American, but
No. Oh, okay.
not far away if you're looking at the big map. But I pretty much grew up close to the ocean.
Oh, near the ocean. Yeah, I've vacationed sometimes near ocean, but it must be nice living by oceanside.
Yeah, not too far away. It's good. It's I'm not sure what your winters are like here, but they're kind of a bitch where I grew up. It's cold, it snows a ton.
That sounds familiar. It's cold, snows a ton.
Yeah, so I grew up in Massachusetts, which, New England, right? So New England, because that's where they settled. So it's pretty similar to European weather.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Grew up, spent time in areas like this too. You kind of got everything there. Ocean, then you can go woods, forests, all of that. So yeah, it wasn't bad.
But you are outdoorsy kind of guy. Is out in the nature is your thing, huh?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time out there. My dad actually owned a sporting goods store.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is not my thing. I'm more of a city man. I'm fine with sidewalks. I prefer cafes, A soft bed is nice.
I understand. So you're outside of your element here a little bit.
A little bit. I mean, keeping watch, keeping aware, but,
You still have your instincts.
Right, but I would still rather, inside is better.
I spent a lot of time in Boston as well. That's the city.
Oh,
closest.
I've heard of Boston. Yeah.
And used to go to Red Sox games a lot. So that's baseball.
Oh,
And so,
okay.
yeah, I like the city as well, but I'm more comfortable out here. Spent a lot of time doing this in the Army.
Night seems to go on, and you guys are unmolested in the nighttime. And it goes into morning. Kyle, roll me a weather roll. Don't roll a 1, it'll start raining again.
A 3, no big difference.
Okay, still cloudy. But it is now the morning of the 30th of June. And it is Emmett and LT that are up now.
All right, and it's going to be me for recon. That is... that is 2 3s.
Okay. So if there's an encounter, you don't see shit.
That's right.
And you got 2 successes, right, Chris, on hiding it?
Yes, 2. I think it was an 11 and a 4, if I remember correctly.
Okay. All right. And LT, what are you going to do while Emmett's keeping watch? Doc is up and he's kind of like checking his gear, checking his medical pack, and kind of just making, taking inventory still, just making sure what he has. Also checking everybody occasionally, just being like, how are you feeling? Any,
Can you check me for ticks just to make sure?
Well, he's mostly was still concerned about the death house, of disease, and was like, are you okay?
Sure.
Still okay? Okay, good.
I mean, if I could scrounge for food, it sounds like everybody's about out. So
Yeah, you could do that.
I would like to do a little scrounging, if at all possible.
I believe you get bonuses for the terrain, actually. Let's see. Foraging for food, you get a +1.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I don't know why I said scrounge. My bad.
I do that all the time, too. Foraging, +1.
So that will give me a B.
You would also get a
and-
+1 for hunting, so if you want to do that instead.
I don't have... Do I have the appropriate weapon?
You got appropriate. You just need to shoot it.
Do you have
can
a
totally
rifle?
shoot. Yeah, you could totally shoot whatever with a fucking M16.
All right, I'll take the AK with me. We'll go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes,
Is
let's
that
go.
a 74
Let's
or
do
a
it.
47 that you have? AK.
I have the AK-74.
Okay, I wouldn't necessarily trust that with a moose, but you could try it if you waste some ammo dice on it.
Plus, if somebody hears you, an AK would be better than an M16.
Don't you guys have Dragonovs?
Yeah, I was going to say I have the Dragonovs as well.
Yeah,
but
use the Dragonov then, man. Yeah,
I just didn't know if I shot one, you'd be like, well, there's no meat left because you used the...
It's look.
That's
if
true,
you
it's
want to
a
like take an
7.62
AK and a Dragonov, depending on what you come across, I'm fine with that.
Deal.
I assure you, even if you shoot a deer with a 30-06, there's still enough meat you can eat it. I promise.
A hunting we will go.
Okay. So first it'll be a survival roll.
Okay. So survival, and you give me... I get a +1 on that, you said?
Yes.
That's a 6 and a 4.
Do you want to push that roll? Because if you get 2 successes, you get to roll twice on the table and pick which one you want to shoot at.
Gotcha. Okay. So yes, I will push because the one that would be pushed is the larger of the die. I get an 8, so 2 successes.
All right, so you get to roll twice. So roll 2d6s.
Okay. First D6 is a 2. Second D6 is a 4.
All right, so it's rabbit and deer.
Deer.
There are your 2 things. So basically, I'd be like, you see a rabbit go by, and you're kind of like, it's not. Maybe I'll come across something more, something a little bit bigger. Because I'm assuming you're going to go for the deer. Right?
Yes,
Seems like
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. All right, and so you see you're going along. Tell me what this looks like. Him going through the woods.
So I've got essentially the AK there, and I'm tiptoeing through and just kind of. I'm walking. I'm not like sitting and waiting for the deer to come to me. I'm actually looking for deer, going around through some scrub brush and pop out. And I go over a little hump and I see one just in a clearing, a really big doe. And I see it just right there. And I was like,
Well, we could find out how big of a deer it is by rolling 2d6 first.
Deal. Okay, let's do that. That sounds like fun.
That seems fun.
Yeah.
Because it might be a fawn.
I got a 6 and a 2.
So an 8. So, yeah, bigger than average. So, yeah, pretty big doe at that point. Yeah.
So then I stalk just a little bit to the side to try to get a flank shot.
Mm-hmm. So now, this is like how close do you want to get? So, we're in the woods, so roll me 2d10. I'm going to do this in the appropriate way.
A 2 and an 8.
All right, so when you see it, you're 100 meters away from it.
Okay.
So, do you want to shoot from that 100 meters or try to get in closer?
I'm going to shoot from 100 meters.
I think you're in the first range increment, so you should be good with the Dragunov. What's the Dragunov's first range increment?
He said he was using the AK, right? Or no?
But he was taking both just in case.
Yeah,
Yeah. What is the first range increment on the Dragunov?
10?
Is it 10?
I think it's 10.
Range 10 on the Dragunov.
I'm asking because I don't have it directly in front of me. I figured
here.
you guys have it on your character sheets. Okay, so you're in your first range increment when you see it. So you don't really need to get any closer, but you still have to roll a recon roll to like line up the shot and not startle it.
Recon is a B and a D. Roll. Any bonuses for camouflage?
I think
he's camouflaged. Well, I mean,
sure, +1
for camis.
Yeah, sure.
A 2 and a 2. I would like to push those rolls. Is that possible, or is this not a pushable thing?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, this is a pushable one.
All right.
Because if you fail it, you scare it off, basically.
A 7 and a 6. 2 successes.
Okay, 2 successes. So, all right. So you find this deer. You're able to line that. You get your rifle. Like you had the AK originally. You were swapping it out, and then raise up the Dragunov. And you're gonna take a shot. So, 100 meters away. Roll it.
Is that recon, survival, or ranged?
Nope. You already survival rolled it. You already recon rolled it. Now it's a
firearms.
shot. Now it's just firearms.
Any bonuses?
I mean, you can get it from the scope, like the bonus you get from the scope.
Okay. And is that's +1?
2. As a sniper.
It depends. Are you standing up or are you laying down?
I'm gonna lay down. I'm really doing this right.
Okay.
Got a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, you had that extra recon in there. Yeah, you.
You better do it right.
Yeah, that should have been you laying down to get in position.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was him. Like, almost makes a noise on a twig and like lays down and doesn't break that twig.
And breathing heavy, just going through them. Okay, squeeze the trigger. Don't jerk it. Take the breath, then take the shot. Take the breath, then take the shot. A 1 and a 9.
Okay, so not pushable anyway, but pa-pa! So we see some birds fly up. And we see LT walking up towards this dead deer.
Yeah. Do the old field dress, pull the unusable guts out. Throw it on the back.
What are you doing? Those are usable. Emmets can turn those into sausages.
That's true.
It's a whole extra ration.
That's true, actually. Waste not, want not. We're going Native American style on this one. We're using everything.
All right, so you see LT coming back with a fucking pretty decent sized deer.
Looks like meat's back on the menu tonight, boys.
Holy crap! I heard you shoot. I was a little worried about you.
I was a little worried about me too. There was a rabbit on the way, and I almost thought, you know what? Let's just get what we can. We're really desperate for a little bit of food at the moment. But I don't know. Something just told me, you know what? There's bigger game out there. And sure enough, crested that hill, and it's a beautiful doe. And I was able to find, I thought she was going to spot me for a second, but she turned broadside on me. I was able to lay down and get a good shot, and boom, she went down. One of the cleanest kills I've ever got. I didn't have to track very far. We're getting smiled upon tonight, guys. That's awesome. Any chance I can get you to help me cook some of this up? You seem to be the expert.
Yeah. Once the rest of these guys wake up, I'll be more than happy to help you fix it up while we're still here at camp.
It's going to be a good day.
That's
guys.
technically another shift you'd have to spend at the campsite.
Yeah,
Okay.
we know.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure everyone's on the same page. That's all.
Yes.
Anyone else mildly concerned with cooking meat and everything?
No.
Okay.
I'm mildly concerned with existing in this world, so
Yeah, mild concerned is the default setting.
like I also don't want to starve to death. So
Mildly concerned about that also.
All right, so Emmett, that would be a survival roll on your part for cooking it for the next shift. Kyle, roll me a weather roll for the daytime shift.
Wait, do I roll it? I
Yes.
thought I just had to be there to assist.
Oh, well, then
was
whoever
actually
wants to
cooking it.
roll, wants to do the cooking, then I'm fine with
Does
it.
anybody have a better survival?
I thought you had to cook to get your bonus.
No, I just have to be involved in it to get the bonus.
Gotcha.
If he aids, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how we've played it.
Yeah. But I mean, you also have been the one navigating anyway, so I figured your survival roll was better. Now
Probably.
Anyway,
I
either
rolled
way,
one. It's raining.
it's raining.
C and a C. Only thing I could say is if anybody wanted to help me, I might be able to get a bonus to that.
Yeah, I'm kind of like obsessed with this deer, so I'm helping you through the process and just kind of doing the thing where I won't shut up while you're trying to cook also as well. So I'm getting you just the slightest bit annoyed in this process as well. Just
But you guys are up now too, by the way, Jeremy and Chris. So you're up for this part.
Yeah, and I don't want to bury the lead. Good fucking job, LT. We needed food.
All right, so if he aids, I get a +1.
Yes.
Awesome.
Or if someone else does the cooking and you give them a +1. Either way, you're involved, is my point.
6 and a 4, 1 success.
Okay. That's technically all you need. So you are able to get 9 rations out of this.
I was gonna. Oh no, yeah, because all of it's cooked. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep, because it's 12 is what you're able to cook.
in a shift.
Right.
Yep. I'm getting pretty good at remembering those things.
3 years later.
3 years later. I think that's the first time we actually did the hunting one right, where it was like the terrain mattered, so like the distance the encounter was spotted at, and like how close you went. Like that's
Took us
exactly
long
how
enough.
that's supposed to play out. That's fine. That's fine.
so give everybody 2 rations and Doc gets 1.
I'm completely out of food. This is great. I've been hungry for a few days now.
As we're cooking, we just hear.
It was less constipated, and there was just nothing in there to.
We give him the
back.
uncooked version. You needed to loosen yourself up, right? Just eat this raw meat.
All right.
So you said everybody 2?
Yeah. All right. So while you guys are sitting around and doing this, who's keeping watch?
Merrick will go and watch.
I was going to say I could. While they were
Oh
cooking.
yeah, your watch is
Yeah.
better than mine.
If he's up, yeah, it's his watch. If he's not making
And it's
camp.
raining, so that actually does affect. You get a -1 on the recon roll.
But it's daytime, right?
Right. So -1, and then whatever else.
Use the binocs.
It's afternoon. Technically.
That's
Daytime.
Daytime.
And still
Daytime.
-1 for heavy rain.
Yes.
And you can see 200 meters.
That is an 11. And that is a 7, so that would be 3.
noise.
All right.
A bear comes to try to eat our food.
Maybe.
Nighttime.
All right, so you guys are all up, prepping the deer. I'm imagining that there's a little bit more of everyone kind of assisting, keeping the fire going in the rain, things like that. What are you doing, Merrick, during this time?
He's gonna go try to collect water.
Okay. I mean, you're not in a river once, but go ahead and roll foraging then.
Can you
So, survival.
Can you forage for water even if you're not in
Yeah.
water? Okay.
Yeah, that just means it's not automatic.
It's raining.
You're
Can
now
we just
looking
raise, Can we
for.
just hold him up?
There you
That's
go.
not going to be enough to really fill up the canteens,
But that's
unless you like build a whole thing. And if he succeeds at it, we could say that's what it is. That
Yeah.
he's able to succeed at doing. So, am I going to say it's automatic? No.
it's doable. This is doable. A B and a D.
So, fluff. How you guys get water? Sure, survival roll.
So he starts. I'm picturing a poncho lean-to, and he's trying to collect water runoff from the corners of the lean-to with the containers that he has.
Is he doing a filtration thing with rocks and dirt and leaves and shit?
Not yet.
Okay.
I mean, there's.
So he's got a poncho?
Look, man, you said fluff. This is not mechanical. We made a camp. Like, he's using his coat. How about that? He's collecting rainwater with his coat.
Whoa. Everyone roll for rats.
I got a 1 and a 4, and I'm not going to push it. So.
Okay. So yeah, you're just not able to get anything to fill up water.
Because we didn't have a poncho.
Your coat just gets wet and wet.
Yeah.
And wet. And like even if you squeeze it out, you're not getting enough to like matter.
Good thing it's wool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, it'd be really uncomfortable.
All right. So are you guys talking about anything during this time frame or during this daytime shift while you're trying to get water and keeping a lookout and cooking deer?
Murph isn't while he's on watch because he's like hypersensitive, worried that the cooking is going to attract someone or something.
What about LT and Emmett?
So you think this deer tastes different than deer back home? Is this just like things, or is it like similar? Because I know we have in Pittsburgh, we have the white-tailed deer in the area and around the Midwest and things like that. So you think we got a different type of deer here? Because like, I don't know, but it all seems to cook the same, doesn't it?
I would say it's relatively the same. The thing I'd be worried about is whether or not it's irradiated or not. You can't cook that out.
Yeah, because we had that big old pit over there with a bunch of dead stuff in it, so it's possible. But this guy, I tell you what, not to toot my own horn, it's like, but like it looked healthy and lean and good when I shot it. So like
It really did, and even in the dissection and the cutting it up and everything and the cooking, everything seemed to smell on the up and up, and it didn't look diseased or anything. I mean, this thing didn't even really have too much ticks to even speak of. This was a pretty clean deer.
Chris, for a minute there, you're like looking through the binoculars and we see this like white rabbit hop and you're like, oh, fuck, a rabbit. And it just like hops off into like some brush. But
I'm late.
You kind of lose it in there.
for a very important date.
He ignores it, but kind of chuckles to himself.
So, about this bee and the angles and the mirror. Have you thought any more about this, Bruce?
I mean, it's just a situation on whether we want to bite the bullet on things being reversed or not reversed, because legitimately the answer is whatever we're thinking, do the opposite. But I don't know how, for lack of a better phrase, how deep the rabbit hole goes.
So if up is down and left is right.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we follow azimuth from Alice north.
Yes.
The mirror.
I mean,
So a mirror and then upside down.
yep.
So would that mean we pass through the mirror and then continue the same distance to Alice, or go to Alice and go opposite what the azimuth says?
Yeah, the distance would not change. It would just be a legitimate 180 degrees from the initial interpretation because of a mirrored sense of things. If my hunch is correct. And that's what we'll have to bank on.
So if we go northeast, that was 70 kilometers. Where does that put us? Where does that put us? Grozek?
Are we talking about from Alice or
No, from the line opposite. So if we go opposite, that puts us a little bit below Grozak, yeah?
Oh, I thought that line just went on to infinity. He was just showing where it dissected.
No, this one goes
Right.
70 kilometers this way.
But what he's trying to say is if you
Yes,
put Alice basically using A and B as a mirror, Alice through the mirror, you go the same distance out to where what would be Alice on the other side of the mirror.
I gotcha.
Then whatever the original direction was of this line, you go opposite side of it because you're in a mirror.
So it creates like a Z shape, almost.
I mean, I'm just the map guy, so at the end of the day, it's whatever call y'all want to make or what we think is going to be the best. But
Well, I mean, if we hit B, hopefully maybe we can find another clue or some kind of heading from there to either confirm or deny the theories that we're working with. And then from B, even if that is the next stop, it's a shorter distance from B than it would be to go back from here.
But yeah, I think that is worth investigating that way. I agree. I think we should still go to B and figure out what is there to see.
Kyle, roll me a survival roll, Kyle.
so survival for me is a B.
But give yourself a -2.
So that would just be a C for me. A 1.
Okay. Okay. That's what I need to know. I love Brian's face.
I was just trying to do the math on what Kyle then has for survival.
B and a D? I think.
A B and a nothing.
A B and a nothing.
Oh, okay.
All right, so day goes along and you guys are cooking the deer successfully,
Yes.
and the rain starts to let up.
And then that means we're going to head to B for the evening shift.
Yep.
Good shooting, LT.
Yeah, I'm glad we got something fresh and nice to eat. It's exciting.
Need that protein.
All right, so it is going to be not raining. It'll just be cloudy for this shift.
I'm going to sample that and make it my ringtone.
What?
I need that protein.
Need that protein.
Survival roll from Emmett if you guys are headed towards B, and a recon roll from Chris.
Survival was a 2 and a 2.
Do you want to push that roll?
Absolutely, I do.
12 and a 2 on recon.
6 and a 3, 1 success.
Okay, so you don't get lost, and you got a 12 and a what, Chris?
2, so 2 successes.
Okay. All right, so you guys are going along, and you work your way finally out of the thicker part of the forest, right? And you're starting to get closer to that location that has been marked as B on your map, the other location here. As you're going along, Emmett, you're looking at the map and kind of correlating with it and be like, all right, we got to go this much further. And you get to the point where you're like, all right, it should be, up there a few hundred meters. Chris, roll me 2d10.
1 and a 5.
All right, so based upon the dot where it is on that map, and it's centered, so that means it's still mostly considered forested. You come up and about, you said a 1 and a 5? Yeah, so you're coming through this thicker part of brush, and you get to the edge of it, and about 60 meters ahead of you, you see this area where it kind of opens up, right? And you can see a small back country road, and then this area of what looks like fucking debris, right? Something has been blasted out. But you're still not at the location. You're still 200-300 meters away from where that actual azimuth location would take you to. And you're kind of looking through at the debris ahead of you, and it looks like it was a church, maybe a smaller country church that's been blasted to shit. And It looks like it happened a while ago, but you can still see like the sign out front, like on that small country road that's like advertising, like whatever mass is going on. And you can tell, Merrick, and Dr. Dolinsky could tell, that what the sign is advertising for is like the Christmas Eve mass. It looks like whatever happened here, the last things that were put up there was the traditional Christmas Eve dinner, which would have been pickled herrings. And we end right there.
Ominous.
Not red. Are the herrings red?
No, they really do have a pickled herring dish that they have on Vigilia, which is like part of the like Christmas Eve vigil supper.
And you go out and you chop down the largest tree in the forest with herring.
Herring.
And thus Christmas was born.
If you or someone you love is struggling with combat-related PTSD, please call 877-717-7873. Again, that number is 877-717-PTSD. Or you can visit online ptsdusa.org. That's PTSD Foundation of America. If you call, you will be immediately connected to a combat veteran who understands those experiences. And if you go to the website, they have in-person groups scattered throughout the United States. And if there isn't a peer group near you, they have online peer groups. Again, that's PTSD Foundation of America. If you're struggling, you don't have to go it alone.